Hey, and welcome to another episode of Hey, It's That. In today's episode, I have one of my all-time favorite clients, former clients, and now current friend, Dayna Palmer, joining us.
Hey, Carson.
Nice
Super
to see
excited
you.
to be here.
Me too. So Dayna is currently the marketing manager at Pizza 73, which I guess is a division, if that's the right word, of Pizza Pizza, which more people nationally in Canada may recognize.
Yeah, I think Pizza 73 is very kind of prairies, born, raised in Alberta. We have some sites in BC, some sites in Saskatchewan, and then we have one lone beauty up in Whitehorse that we have, but
Yes.
really, really strong Alberta base.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, we are kind of the sister company for Pizza Pizza, who, especially people out east, would definitely probably know that name a little bit more
Well,
for sure.
before you started there, the only reason I knew of it was Rinkboard advertising for hockey games. That's how I was aware of it.
Absolutely. I know. I get pretty excited about that now. Like, it's like, woo, that's me. Look at me. So, yeah, I was, I don't know if you saw the Connor McDavid documentary special when
No.
they released that. And like literally one of the previews is like him and he like scores this like great goal and he like slides past my rink board, like just like jacked. And I was like,
See,
yes,
there's
yes,
the value
so
of
good.
sponsorship
So
right
good.
there,
There
right?
it is. Yeah,
Nice.
exactly. It helps when you have a Connor McDavid who can do
Yeah.
that.
No kidding, right?
Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, definitely earning our keep with them, so it's great.
Right. And so since we worked together, which was in a past life for both of us, when you were at Circle
Mm.
K Western Canada and I was in the
Hmm.
agency world at 612, um, we've stayed in touch. And like I don't usually have a relationship like that with former clients. And we also only met once in person. Like I've only
Yes,
seen you in the real world
yes,
for like 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours.
yes. It's like, yeah, for a quick lunch date kind of thing. Yeah,
That's right.
absolutely.
And now it's all, whether it's sports, we just kind of stayed in touch over the
Mm.
past few years, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really good. I don't know. I'm like the friend in the group that's like hyper obsessed with like if I find somebody amazing in my life, I want to stay connected with them. And so, I definitely try my best to make sure to be able to reach out. And,
Mhm.
I think it's even and it's become very obvious to me, especially during this kind of like whole pandemic thing, where sometimes it's nice just to like get tagged on an Instagram post or just a
Mhm.
quick check in, a little vibe check on the Instagram
It's true.
or whatever, where it's just like, hey, you're alive, right? How are you doing?
Yeah, I think those things are way more important now than ever, hey?
Yeah, no, I totally agree for sure.
All right, let's dive into a little bit of our professional past before.
Sounds
Um,
good.
One of the most legendary stories that I get to tell about my time working with you is what we now call Tinder dogs, right?
Yes, yes.
And
I use this story often as well, actually, as a successful, innovative win in my marketing career. So when they have those interviews and they're like, "Well, what's a project you're really proud of?" I'm
yeah,
like, "Tinder dogs."
I know.
Actually, let me tell you.
Who would have thought? And like,
Yeah,
by hosting this video, I want to be clear too. Like this was certainly not just me. There was other resources in the agency back at 612. Shout out
for
612.
sure. Yeah.
We had this thing called a book of bad ideas. And so our lead designer there, Roz, she was awesome for recording all this sort of stuff because, stuff happens in conversation that's just kind of fluffy or, you don't really think a lot of it, but she would write it down. And the worst ideas got their own section in the book called bad ideas. And of course, for me, that was interesting because like, I want to know what
Yeah.
the bad ideas are. And,
Yeah.
and that was literally one of them was promoting hot dogs on Tinder. So the idea was there. And then when you came to us and said, I need to promote these next level hot dogs,
Hmm.
it was kind of a slam dunk. And
Oh,
in
so
my
good.
process of pitching, the way I like to pitch, and maybe this is even visibility into how I would pitch you before,
Mhm.
was we would try to give two or three ideas. There was the idea we wanted, the idea we thought you would pick, and then somewhere in the middle, right? To
Yeah,
try to give some
totally.
options. And in this case, we were very happily stunned that you picked Tinder Dog. So maybe talk a
Yeah.
minute about what that was like to to find out that we were really going to put hot dogs on Tinder and look for dates.
Yeah, it was, I think you guys came, and I think that's how most ideas are, right? There's kind of like the obvious choice, the super out there choice, and then the like, kind of the like, one, right? So you get that automatic, okay, let's not kid ourselves, that one's out. And then you can have the other two. And so I think for us, like, it was so exciting to be able to just like have some fun with it. And I was super lucky too, because I had an amazing director, merchandising and marketing, Dave Greason, shout out, what up, who basically kind of just let me do what I wanted. And as long as I could justify it, he was like, yeah, sounds good to me. So we, decided that we would toe the line a little bit and have some fun with these. Like, why not? Like, we kind of were like, we don't know what'll happen. We don't know what's the worst that can happen. But really, it was so easy to be able to have it kind of targeted. And we figured if nothing else, like we just shut it down. Like,
Yes.
honestly, it was kind of like, if all of a sudden there's some like crazy bad press that's starting to come through, we'll just shut it down and then we'll just, like deal with it then. But
Exactly.
why not try? And so we were just like, and he was just like giddy about it too. Like he and I were both so excited. So it's, it was just, the whole concept was hilarious. Right. And then like, obviously the team at 612, you guys did such an amazing job with like the creative. And like all the stereotypical, like, hot dog at the gym, Saturday nights,
selfies,
right. Gym selfies, Saturday nights for the boys, like, like it's just so good. Like it was just so good. And then so to see the reaction too that we then got, you'll know better than I even do, I think, but like seeing just all the screenshots of like how excited.
Yes, and for then, the benefit of those listening or watching on YouTube, we put hot dogs in 2 different dating groups, both of which were in straight paradigm. So you can take that for what it was, but that's where we located it. There was a man hot dog and a lady hot dog, and the guys talking to the women hot dog absolutely blew up. In fact, it shut down the account, the sheer volume, and quite literally the layer of, I don't know, blue language, for lack of a better term. Let's call that engagement, right? That's an engagement.
Totally. Huge engagement. It was great. And like, and then obviously kind of so everybody understands is we took screenshots of the cleaner language and a bit more fun of it. And then we're able to reuse those kind of on, as a digital kind of ad and platform to speak to, hey, these hot dogs were on Tinder. Check it out. Check out what a great response we had with it, right? And just have some more fun, being able to even kind of reuse those assets and having more fun with them. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so which was great, and creating more buzz and stuff with that. And we did see, obviously that was one piece of a larger campaign that we ran at that time, but we did see a really solid increase across, on the sales of that product. It had a nice end-to-end kind of marketing campaign, obviously mixed in with some traditional, but from a digital standpoint, I think it was such a huge win for us. And I know we had great engagement, even, like I said, on those social posts that kind of came after with it. There was great engagement, great reach. People, they couldn't resist commenting on it because it's like hot dogs. We put hot dogs on Tinder, like, it was awesome. Like it was all in all, it was like such a win for sure. It was so great to see. So,
and then in prepping for our discussion today, I did a little research on Tinder, and last Sunday, Tinder actually had its best day ever, which is kind of interesting to think about. So like 3 billion swipes last Sunday. And I guess people are being a little more cautious in the current, social distancing reality. Like, first dates are, you better be sure.
Yeah, well, I think from what I'm seeing is like, because I know Bumble, obviously one of the newer sites, a lot of them are pushing online first dates. So doing a digital date, doing it through a FaceTime or a Zoom or whatever. And I think that the people are probably more open with that. I don't know, like it's going to be really interesting to see how dating kind of continues to evolve after all of this, because I think that so many more people, they're comfortable in their own home. They're not necessarily meeting a stranger, like, and especially, if you're going to a place that, you're not necessarily comfortable going to meet someone you don't know, obviously there's always a little bit of, nervous energy there. And so I think, to feel that safety in your home. And then I think it's interesting because, like, I don't know how big of a TLC fan you are, but they're doing like a love connection live, they're calling it. And it's literally just that. It's like doing like at home on your couch, and they're going to connect people and then obviously tape all of them, and kind of playing off that whole, similar vibe to, I think the Netflix series had too, right? So where it's kind of like, I think it's super interesting, actually. I think it'll change a lot of dynamics for people. So
Yeah, they're also moving to video on Tinder as well, so that users
Mm.
can better connect in the platform, right? Instead
I
of
want
launching
to love.
Zoom, right?
I want to love that, but also.
Well, maybe there's more
Mm.
hot dog videos to be made,
That,
right?
yeah, I'm like, yeah. That's what we'll call them, Carson. Totally.
All right, so let's kind of keep the topic in the pandemic, and then
Sounds
let's
good.
let's
Yeah.
let's move on and talk about pizza. So whenever I
Yeah.
go out near where I live, there's always people, on nice evenings, because it's been nice here for a while
Hmm.
on the West Coast. Um,
Jerks.
people are people are social distance visiting, and almost all of them have pizza. Like, there is a stroller with a pizza on the bottom, or there's teens and younger people with a pizza. There's older people with a pizza.
Yeah.
How is pizza in a pandemic?
So, to be totally honest,
Mm,
it started really rough. Like it wasn't, it's so funny. Every time I talk to somebody and I'm like, oh, I'm in pizza, they're like, oh, you guys must be doing amazing.
yeah, right.
Where, you know what, no, like it's good. We're better. I don't want to complain and
Hmm.
sound like a little, pretentious or anything, because
No, no.
obviously we were much better equipped to handle this than so many other restaurants were, right? Who had never done any sort of delivery, who didn't, and it's nice to be able to remind people that we're the OGs of delivery. And I think
There
that
you
that's
go.
what
Yeah.
and it really did do that. Like, people are like, just kidding. These guys are the experts. They know exactly what they're doing. Pizza is that for
Hmm.
people, right? And it's such a comfort, I think, for people, it's funny, even because, like, from our third
Yes.
party sales, those are even up, which is crazy, because, like, usually, you see third party and you think people are ordering, they're ordering their sushi or their Vietnamese or, their salads and stuff. But at the moment, people don't want to think about people touching their food. So
Yeah.
sushi being
True.
cold,
Yeah.
rolling it, right? Like, those are all things that people, I think, take into consideration, and
It's true.
why we've seen pizza be as strong as it is. Because realistically, we were able to instate contactless delivery within basically a
Mm,
week
right.
of everything starting, which was crazy. We were one of the first to launch contactless delivery, which was amazing.
Hmm.
We have contactless pickup. So again, just, keeping that distance, keeping that, for people who, would rather drive on their way home from the hospital or wherever they're kind of working, those frontline workers who are still out there,
Yep.
they can just grab it. So, but it was a struggle, like, and we're trying to, figure out the right formula. And I think that, like I said, we are lucky because people know our pizzas are cooked at 500 degrees. It goes straight from the oven into the box. There's no hands that touch it. It's darn hot. And
Yep.
when you get it at home, you basically throw the box in the oven and, like, cook it for like 10 more
Mm,
minutes if you want, just to
hmm.
make yourself feel better, right? Or
Right.
however that is. But, I think there's another level of people. I know for us, we really struggled because everybody loaded up on groceries, so many groceries,
Yeah. True.
right? Like, and then B, there are a lot of people with anxieties out there that weren't ready and still aren't ready
Yes.
to accept outside delivery from people, because if they don't feel like they've made it, then they don't know what's touched it and things, and there's still
Hmm.
definitely some high anxiety levels around that. And so I know that we've instated a ton of, like, safety measures and protocols with our locations and our drivers. They're amazing. They have different gloves for everything. They sanitize the bags in between each delivery. um, they wear masks. Like,
Hmm.
we worked really hard to make sure that we can try to make our customers feel as safe as possible. But I think pizza has that natural comfort and kind of
Yes.
that natural feeling that, like I said, it did set us up for success better than I think probably some others have definitely
Yeah.
had to have some larger hurdles to go over.
Yeah,
That's
good.
for
Those are
sure.
good
So.
points. And
Mhm.
in preparing some of the notes for our chat today, you talked about a locking box. What is that all about?
Yeah, super excited about this. So Pizza just launched theirs, and it is coming fast and feverishly as well for Pizza 73.
Hmm.
I don't know if you've seen it. They've been
No.
we call it our tamper-proof box. This is what we call it. Oh, actually, I was like, oh, I thought I had it here still, but I don't.
Mm.
But basically, what it is it's like a locking seal. So it locks in, and then to basically have it be opened, you have to kind of peel it back, and then that actually reopens the box.
Gotcha.
So once it's closed, like, you will know if anything's been touched. So it's interesting because it didn't actually originate. The idea didn't originate for pandemic. This wasn't like a last, like, second, oh my God, hey, we have this great idea,
Okay.
let's do this. It actually started quite a while ago, because what's been happening and everybody hears the like horror story stuff in the news anyways, but we were getting a lot of customer complaints from people who ordered third party. So, you
Okay.
know, hey, there was one slice missing from my
Oh,
pizza. I
really?
was, yes,
Like skip the dishes driver, just
literally the Pac-Man pizza problem was like
interesting.
definitely, yeah, with particularly with third party. Obviously, our delivery drivers, you know,
Mm,
we can hold very accountable to that kind of
right.
thing. But third party, we can't guarantee anything.
Hmm.
So, and we were running into that issue kind of continuously over and over, where it was like, what? Like, how is this a thing? So we had originally started the tamper-proof idea was specifically around just trying to guarantee people's orders no matter what kind of thing. And
That makes
so,
sense.
yeah, so I think the pandemic probably moved it up a little bit faster for us because it, you know,
Yeah.
all of a sudden it was like, hey, this totally makes sense for us. Like, obviously, people want safe and reliable delivery, and like, you know, we already give that as much as possible. And so, you know, can we take it next level on the safe side and really try to start to guarantee, you know, what they're receiving? So, you know,
Hmm.
and being, you know, the best at it as possible. So right now, 73 has like, we have our sealed stickers, which is great too. They've done, you know, they've done the job for now, but yeah, coming down the line pretty quick. Pizza, we saw great results. Our shares actually jumped
Awesome.
when we launched it. So that was like, that's speaking to something for us for
No
sure, you know,
kidding.
and that,
Yeah.
that innovation that, you know, we know that we're trusted brands. Pizza's over 50 years. It's our 35th anniversary this year. It's 73. You know,
Congrats.
thank you. So, you know, we have, you know, we stand the test of time. When I say we're OGs, we really
Yeah,
are. And
exactly.
so, you know, when we can come up with, you know, new innovations, you know, 73 was one of the first to do the phone numbers out here. As someone who's not from Alberta, you wouldn't necessarily know
Oh,
that,
is that
but
what the 73 means?
yeah. So
Ah,
yeah. So if you're being from Edmonton is more the one, you know, originally that I know, but being in Calgary now, but there's always the jingle. Pizza
hmm.
73 is very famous for the jingle. Dial 473-7373.
Yes.
Pizza 73. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
Nice.
we were literally one of the first to create just like an overall phone number that people
Gotcha.
could call, and it would go to the call center and then the order would be placed versus calling finding yellow pages, finding your local store and all that
Right.
stuff.
Yes.
The lined, the heated bags, that was, you know, also an innovation that we had. So I think that, you know,
Mm.
we continue to pride ourselves in innovation and figuring out what can we do to just get better and better and continue to show our expertise and build that customer trust. Because I think right now that's one of the biggest things that you can do in this pandemic. I think that's
Wh-
what a customer is looking for, is brands they trust.
Yes.
um, and just you know, continuing to prove why they should trust us. And I think that's, you know, what we're looking to do with
What
these kind of
about an
boxes.
what about an OG playlist from 35 years ago?
You know, funny you
Like
should
a
talk about
custom a
that.
custom Spotify
We've been
playlist.
talking about some Spotify playlists. I
Yeah.
know. We there's been some discussions. We were talking about that because I think, you know,
There you go.
having some fun with the 80s, 90s, you know,
Oh,
2000s and today. So
that was my pizza heyday, right? Like
yeah,
that's when pizza was one of the hierarchy of needs, you know?
yeah, 100%. So absolutely. So yeah, no, that's the thing, is I think that's the one nice thing about pizza. And I think that's where, you know, when I speak to that trust of the customers, I think that's one of the big things, is that so many people have fond memories of pizza, right?
Oh,
You know, pizza was the OG. So
yes.
that Friday night dinner and movie, like, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, we're the OG Netflix and chill. Like
It's true.
Friday night dinner and movie, like
Yep.
we had it first.
Blockbuster and pizza,
Yeah,
right?
right? That's exactly it. And like, speaks a lot that we outlasted Blockbuster. So I'll take
True,
it.
true.
Like,
There's one left.
so,
I think there's one left somewhere in the United States. I don't know where, but one
probably.
lonely Blockbuster.
I'm sure it's like in Alabama or like Montana,
I
Kentucky or something,
I
where it's
don't
like
even
so
know.
small town they can't even.
It must be, yes.
Oh, so
Um,
yeah.
all right, so let's what's got your attention, like outside of work and pizza and the
Mhm.
gaping hole that was sports, which is one of
Yeah.
our
So
connections that we've
so
had.
gaping.
Yeah. What are you watching? What's on your playlist? Stuff like that.
Um, yeah, I love guilty pleasure television, like bad reality TV.
Yeah.
So I feel like 90 Day Fiance on TLC has filled a lot of that.
Okay.
As well as like some of the cheesy Netflix action, Too Hot to Handle, big fan for
Yes.
sure.
Okay.
Shout out Francesca, go Canada.
Yep.
So some of that good stuff. And then I'd say my sports fill has come from obviously The Last Dance, which
I
I feel
know.
is pretty popular for everybody at the
Yes.
moment. So,
Totally.
obviously obsessed. We've been watching NFL channel plays old Super Bowls. So we got to watch Brady beat the Falcons in the fourth
Oh
quarter
yeah.
again.
Okay.
So
Yes.
that was a good one.
But you're
Yeah,
a Packers fan, aren't you? They're your
I
number one?
am.
Yes.
Yes. Oh
Right.
yeah, 100%. Number one for sure. Aaron Rodgers forever. Yeah, definitely a big Packers fan. So yeah, it's been good. We have a dog. She just turned a year old, so
Yes, I've
she's
seen
been
the
an
dog on Instagram.
I was gonna say she's a pretty big obsession for us. So, and then I feel like the other thing we've been trying to do is just like get out of the house and like
Right.
just go and do something. Like, we went out to Drumheller just to go
Oh
for
yeah.
a walk. We drove out to a couple of the smaller towns around here. Same idea, just to get out, just to change of scenery.
I know.
So I think that's been nice. Like just that, I find that keeps me sane. I'm like, I need to get out of the house. So
Yeah, totally.
and then creative with Zoom and checking in with friends. I have weekly vibe checks with some of my girlfriends, and then I also I did I don't know how much pub Name That Tune, but I did a Zoom Name That Tune
Okay.
for all my friends. So yeah, there was like 40 of us, and it was good. It like
Cool.
worked out really well. Inspired a few others to do their own. So
Right on.
yeah, so that was good. Things that I'm doing, I'm drinking a lot of wine.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. I'm like I do a lot of that. I feel
get
like
you.
we order in a lot of food, probably more than we should.
Yes.
I know I mentioned those people with anxieties. I am not one of them. Probably
Yep.
because I know all the, like I said, safety protocols that we've put in that I
True.
have faith that many others have. So definitely taking advantage of trying to support some of the other kind of restaurants in town. So that's
Right.
been good. But yeah, no, it's definitely different. I'm missing, patio drinks.
Yeah, I know. Right. Now that the
Like
weather's
going
nice.
out and catching with friends and having some patio drinks and yandering. And obviously I love Stampede. And so that was a big hit for us this year with that being canceled here in
Right.
Calgary. I think that was, it feels a little bit like a dark kind of cloud a little. So, but yeah, like, I think one of the biggest things that I've seen is just the resiliency of people and just, making the best of the situations that there's, that they've been given. How can they figure out? I know for me, honestly, this sounds so crazy. We talked about it though at the beginning where, I love being connected with people. And I'm like, I'm most people's worst nightmare because I love talking on the phone. I will call someone and like want to chat. I like
Yes.
texting. Like
I've talked on the
I will
phone
text
more in the last 2 months than I have in the last 2 years.
and video
Straight up.
chats. Like,
Yes.
why have I never video chatted people before?
I know. Yes.
Like, I feel so stupid. I'm like, why
I
did we
know.
not just FaceTime before? Like, this is so much better because I like can see you and this is great.
I
And
know.
like,
Well, yeah, this is the most I've talked to you in probably 2 or 3 years.
yeah, right. And like that's exactly it. Like it's just like I feel like that's been like there's still some really solid silver linings that I feel like is coming out of this for people.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm and I think that's a big one. And I'm so glad. And like those connections with people and how you connect and like, maybe you can't do, your birthday party every time. I had a quarantine birthday. We did the Name That Tune.
Okay.
I had 40 people come to it because it was from
Right.
all over Canada. I was able to have friends from Toronto.
Boy,
there,
thanks for inviting me.
Vancouver.
That's great.
I know,
Great
so
to find out
welcome.
now.
I just realized. I was like,
I'm kidding.
Probably should invite a Carson. That's okay.
That's okay. That's okay.
That's okay. I'll invite you to the next one. Don't worry.
Deal. All right. So let's finish up and kind of take that theme of inspiration, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what else are you seeing out there in marketing? What do you think who's doing a good job and like what's impressed you?
I think one of the biggest things that has been interesting during this pandemic, we had this chat kind of within our own internal marketing team too, is to see the reaction of people and how things have reacted. And, is it somber piano music with,
right. Yes.
we care about yous, or
yes.
is it just going completely dark? There were some big brands that Coca-Cola went full dark, which is crazy. They're, one of the largest marketing
yes.
kind of gurus of the world. Right.
Yep,
so,
absolutely.
it was interesting to just see how people kind of reacted. And I definitely think that there was some some winners. I think I personally have been impressed by PepsiCo. I am a Coke girl,
Okay.
but honestly, from a marketing standpoint, obviously they launched their direct to consumer site, which is
Yeah.
so interesting. Coming from the convenience world, I was like,
I know.
"Woo,
I was
interesting."
that was a throwdown, right? Like that was something that was not
Yeah.
on my radar at all, but that whole topic
Mm-hmm.
was like
They
super on my radar.
And that was super interesting. And they have donated so much money. It's been crazy. Their name, I feel like I've seen their name everywhere and on everything.
Yes.
And I feel like a lot of it was like, it really did come from a good place. It just, they're reaping some nice benefits from it, right? Like I know
Mhm.
that they partnered a couple times with John Krasinski and his like,
Yeah.
SGN kind
Yeah.
of broadcast.
Yeah.
He had a couple times where they added some extra donations in for people, which was amazing.
Well, you know what I
Um,
just saw was there's apparently like a T-shirt that's come out where the Pepsi logo
yeah.
was done like in crayon or pencil
Yeah, his
crayon.
daughters drew it
Yeah,
actually. Yeah, his
exactly.
daughters drew the logo. So Pepsi's taking that and then they're giving the proceeds back. So, like I love like I think that they are a brand that people when they look back on like who
Mhm.
won, who lost, I think Pepsi's gonna be under the W column for
And they could
sure.
certainly use a W, like after the Kendall Jenner spot a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And I even saw some
I got
stuff on LinkedIn this week about like a Pepsi, that's what I like, product
mm,
near a COVID-19 testing site. It was just like
yeah.
a weird Walmart Pepsi COVID
Yeah.
mashup that was not a good
Yeah.
look. But this
Yeah.
certainly is successful, right?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because I almost I would be the first to make the snide remark of being like, oh, where's Kendall Jenner to solve the
I
COVID
know. It
pandemic,
was
right?
easy,
She
right?
she just has to hand a Pepsi to somebody. That's the thing is like I think that they like rose and showed some real class and like we're figured out ways to kind of give back in a proper way. So
Yes.
you
Well,
know.
even outside of any branding or like,
Mhm.
wider conversation message around unity or all that other sort of thing,
All the
they're selling
usual.
snacks, right? Like they're doing what they do best in a direct to consumer environment. That's smart.
Totally, totally. No, it's I just they're a big one for me. That's been really interesting. And I think, there's definitely been some other brands who've done some amazing things. I know for us, we had a partnership with Nixware,
Oh yeah.
um,
Okay.
and Pizza and Nixware kind of combined a little bit. And we were
Hmm.
doing some great, they did an amazing job and built a bunch of masks,
Mm. Cool.
PPE stuff that they then actually ended up donating to a bunch of the either homeless or shelter type
Right.
women shelter charities
Yeah.
in the Toronto area. So we actually delivered them.
Okay.
We have the we have the
You got the
capabilities.
capability. Yeah, you're
That's the
exactly.
thing. So, right, that's where we come in again, that expertise. So, we
Hmm.
have the capabilities to be able to deliver this kind of stuff, and so that was really great. Um, I think that to find ways that you can kind of give back. I know one for me personally that we did was partnering with some seniors homes
Oh yeah.
in Edmonton and Calgary specifically. That I think that for me, I have a grandfather in BC who's like stuck at his, they're in quarantine in their tiny condos and
Yes.
they're not allowed out. They're not allowed to like see other people. And so, and obviously he's old. So technology is not exactly his friend.
Yeah.
Right. And
Right.
so I think, anytime we could kind of be able to just like remind them that they're not forgotten. And
Yes.
I think that's been a big thing in general. I think there's a lot of people who kind of, are looking at their families and realizing, hey, like
In a new way.
I should be trying to figure out how to connect better and things like that. So, and I think after everything too that happened kind of in Quebec over the elders and
Yes.
the elderly, I think there's going to be a lot more people who are really sensitive to their elders and really wanting to show that, what we do cherish and respect them and that they do bring, obviously some amazing things to the table. Yeah, that's actually, you want to know what's filling my time right now?
Yes.
My new TikTok, basically.
Oh, okay.
Because TikTok I was obsessed with currently,
Yes.
but Ancestry.ca has a 2-week free trial,
Yeah.
and it's a black hole of family history. I am like so obsessed. I
Hmm.
like constantly just ancestrying currently.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
yeah, so crazy. The coolest thing I found so far is my like grandfather's grandfather. So I guess I would make it like my great great
I,
grandfather,
I
I
don't
think.
really know how that works, but
Yeah, I'm
sure,
still
that's
not
worth a
totally sure
couple
either.
greats. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a couple greats at least. Anyways, it turns out he was a giant. So he was 6'8",
Oh, wow.
521 pounds.
Holy
Yeah,
crap.
yeah. Apparently his arms were 2 feet diameter and his thighs were 3 feet. And so he was in like freak shows, which I'm sure is not the politically correct way to say it, but
Right. But
literally, like there's like images of like posters, like selling and
No
like
kidding.
ticket stubs and stuff to him. I was like, what? I like called
Wow.
him up and I was like, why do I not know about this? Like, this is
Yeah.
amazing. Anyway, so yeah, so crazy. But yeah, so that's been my current obsession. So there's like a 2-week window of it's just gonna be like ancestry.ca hard for me. And then I'll be back to TikTok, I'm sure. But yeah.
Interesting. Maybe I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's been it's strange. I'm actually looking forward to it where I'm going to see my parents this weekend, and so
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make them dig out some of the like really old photos we have, because like
Yeah.
those have always kind of had the name on the back, but we're like, we don't know who that is.
Yeah. Okay.
And now I know where the names kind of lay and who it should be and stuff. So yeah, so we'll kind of see how it goes. So
Very cool.
yeah.
Well, that's maybe a nice spot to wrap it up on
Yeah,
that theme of
absolutely.
connection, whether it's family, friends, technology. All it takes is a good pandemic to bring us together.
Yeah, that's all we needed. It's fine.
I want to say thank you for taking time out of your day, and this has been fun. I really appreciate you doing this.
Oh my gosh, of course. And thank you for having me. I'm
Yeah,
honored.
it's my pleasure.
You are my personal marketing Yoda, so I feel like I learn a ton from you.
Not that
So
old.
I'm excited. No, not in that way. Sorry. Yeah.
Thank you. I will.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Yeah, no, it's been great. So thanks, Carson.
Okay, Dayna. Awesome. You take care, and
Okay.
we'll talk again soon. All right.
Talk later.
And
Bye.
thank you to anybody watching, anybody listening. All right. Take care.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.